Yes guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today and some more F1 2020 My Team career mode gameplay. If there was ever an episode guys to watch, I think it's this one. I think you're going to enjoy it. So yeah, drop me a like straight off the bat, and if you guys missed the last episode at Monza, which in its own right was an absolutely insane episode guys, I got the most perfect start on this game I think I've ever seen, so check it out. I will leave a link guys up in the top right hand corner of the screen, but without further ado, let's get this episode underway and let's see how this race goes around Singapore. So first and foremost, then we go into the laptop and you can see we are getting ready for the race weekend. Everything is good to go. The weather forecast is an interesting one because it says it's dry in qualifying, but that wasn't the case. R&D wise, Haas have actually re-overtaken us, unfortunately. We managed to get ahead of them for one race, and now we've lost a position once again, and we are now second from bottom. The good news is we have two minor upgrades on the way, one for the aerodynamics, one for the chassis, as we're now going to head into practice here today for Singapore. I did practice 1 and practice 2. Practice 1, I did a few of the programs like track acclimatization and also I believe the tyre management test, but then I did the race strategy 1 in practice 2 at night because I wanted to get a better reading and understanding of the tyres in more accurate conditions, you know, as to what the race would be. And I can't lie, I think I've got a good setup, boys. We look quick around here, really quick, and also crucially the tyres are not overheating, they're not going off. I've got a really good setup on, and it's giving me great performance. So I can't wait to see how this plays out in the actual qualifying and race. But after practice, you can see on screen, we got a pretty strong amount of R&D points, and we're now almost on 800 R&D points. So we are stacking those up once again. Also, in terms of Team Acclaim, we do slowly grow a little bit. They're getting closer and closer to level 9. Mick also gains a little bit. And as a team, we are now level 11. So we're slowly pushing on, but hopefully we can try and improve upon that here today. We now move into qualifying though, and this is, you know, the real business end of the weekend. This is when things pick up, and you know, you turn your engines up and you get to see who's been sandbagging and who hasn't. And we're going to get ready for the session here today. There we are on the garage getting ready for the session with the soft tyres on the car. And here we are then. This was my first run on my first lap in Q1, and in fairness, it was actually a very strong lap. I was really happy with it. I didn't realise though just how good or strong the lap was, and I only realised this when I crossed the line and I saw that we was ahead of both Haas cars already, which was very encouraging considering the Haas upgrade they brought this weekend. I was like, ooh, okay, that's interesting. So we're ahead of the Haas cars, and then more cars set their lap times, and they were all behind us. Everyone set their laps, and we was currently in P13. As the session in Q1 was about to end, we got pushed down to P14 and eventually down to P16. The checkered flag has now fallen, so we are on the bubble, but suddenly we have got a chance of getting through into Q2, and we are up by 6, nearly 7/10 of a second as we go through the final corner in 6th gear. And look at that, a 7/10 of a second improvement, and we jump all the way up in the timing sheets up to P6, and we are through into Q2 comfortably on 110% AI. Very comfortable indeed. You can see there, right up there with the big boys, only 4/10 off Lewis Hamilton. So we've got some pace around here, which is really exciting. Unfortunately for Mick Schumacher, he got knocked out in P20, which is a shame, but I'm feeling it around here. The car feels brilliant. To be fair, it didn't feel perfect. I think I felt better cars, but whatever the car setup was, it was giving me a good lap time. So you can see here now in Q2, I only had one fresh set of dry tyres left for this session because I used 2 sets in Q1. So this was actually my only lap in the session, and in fairness, it was a very good lap, and I was really happy with it. We crossed the line and we go with a 134.6. It was 3/10 off our Q1 time. It was a bit of a scruffy lap, but still a strong lap in fairness. And I went out really early because there was a chance of rain, and it didn't actually arrive. It was really weird. It said the session was going to rain. It didn't fall. You know, I spectated the rest of the session. The rain didn't fall down. And eventually, we actually got into Q3 by 2/10 of a second, which was insane. So out of nowhere, we've gone from this being a write-off to actually being a strong weekend. The Q3, you can see it on screen, no rain expected. But the second I hit the track, it was absolutely just showering like crazy. So the weather conditions were almost glitched, like they reversed. So Q2 said it was raining, there was no rain on track. Q3 said it was dry, but there was rain on track. So I feel like the game might have just messed up or glitched them out. Either way, we're going to Q3, and it was my first time in the wet conditions, but the track was drying. And with about 2 minutes to go, just about enough time for one lap, I'm the last car to leave the pit lane. I'm going to roll the dice here and go out on the dry tyres. And when I left the pit lane, I was like, oof. there's a lot of spray. The grip is not great. Like the car was not feeling grippy at all. But we managed to get the car around in time to start a lap. So let's go on board for a full lap in these conditions around Singapore, and let's see if the lap is good enough. This could be it, boys. Out the final corner, opening up the DRS. We do see our purple sector 3. Is it enough for pole position? No, not quite. It's P2. We just miss out on P1. I thought I had it. The track was gripping up very quickly on the lap, and by the time we got to the third sector, we had so much pace, but we just missed out by 0.2 of a second. I think the little mistake into the hairpin in sector 2, running a bit deep, ultimately cost us pole position. I think the lap was perfect considering the very little grip there was, especially at the start. We did a really good job of not locking up, not losing the back end, keeping it very smooth on traction, and keeping it very, very tidy. So it was a great lap, and let's just say this, for the first time this season we are starting from the front row, which is incredible. And also in terms of the rivalry breakdown, of course, we outscored Pierre Gasly, which is insane. We're now tied on points, 6 apiece. And now in terms of course also Team Acclaim, it's looking pretty good because that front row has given us a massive boost as we're now almost level 9, and Mick gains a little bit as well. And also as a team, we're now halfway there to being level 12, so some big gains in qualifying. But guys, what a session. We now move into the race, starting from second place on the grid.
Here we go then, it's Formula 1 in Marina Bay once again, and welcome to all of you at home who join us today for this fascinating race around the baking hot, horribly humid, but very beautiful streets of Singapore. The Marina Bay Street Circuit then has 23 corners, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, taking us a total of 3.1 miles around the landmarks of downtown Singapore. An average lap speed around here, just 107 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Now, let's talk about Charles Leclerc. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Martinez completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Verstappen, Albon, Stroll, Sainz and Sergio Perez, Raikkonen, Norris, Esteban Ocon and Magnussen, Grosjean, Schumacher, Daniel Kvyat, they've taken a grid penalty, and George Russell, Ricciardo, Latifi, Gasly and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Right guys, it's game time here at Singapore. Starting from second place on the front row, we've got nothing in front of us for a change, which is absolutely insane. We didn't even do this at Monaco, so this is really uncharted territory here today. We've got Valtteri Bottas, the championship leader, to our right in P1, and we've got much faster cars behind us. But we're going to try and make it work. Strategy-wise, this is going to be key today. I feel like the longer I can go on the soft tyres, the better the race is going to be. I feel like traffic is going to play a key part. Just like in the 2019 real-life Singapore Grand Prix, you have to get off the soft tyres really early, and that's going to bring you out in traffic. So I feel like if I can find a bit of space and some rhythm and try and keep my tyres alive for as long as possible, we're going to be looking really good. It's going to be a two-stop strategy for us here today, running the double medium. I might try and go for the one and go straight into the hards, but we'll kind of judge that. It depends how far we go on the soft tyres. Fuel-wise, I'm actually running negative fuel by 0.2, so just slightly under, because I feel like I need a little bit lighter car to help survive on these soft compound tyres. But without further ado, let's try and pick up some big points here today in the Singapore Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's see what kind of start we can get. Getting the revs around 11,500 revs. Lights out and away we go. Oh, what a start. We take the lead. Come on. Into turn one, down the inside we go. And we're into first place. Yes, what a start, boys. Yellow flag behind. There's been a crash. One of the Red Bulls, I think, actually, as we lead the Singapore Grand Prix. That is absolutely crazy, insane. I can't believe it. The question is, can we hold on? Here comes Bottas. He's closing us down. I'm having to use a bit of overtake mode. I've got pretty high wings in the car, so we might be a bit slow on the straight. But for now, we've survived the first straight, and looks like we will get to lead at least one lap of this race on merit, not on strategy alone, which is great. This is the first time ever that's happened in this series. Wow. The key thing for me around here today is trying to not overheat the tyres. If I can keep the tyres alive and in the window, we're going to be looking pretty good. I've got to try and keep those temperatures below 100 degrees Celsius. Sectors 2 and 3 are pretty strong. Sector 1 is a bit weak, but we're looking good here. It looks like we're not actually holding anybody up. We're actually keeping a decent pace here, which is really impressive. Like I said, we've got to try and go long, so I've got to focus on myself and make sure we're very consistent when it comes to the tyres. I've got to try and keep them alive. I don't care if I get undercut, like if Bottas and Vettel pit really early. Like I said, they're going to come out in traffic, because everyone outside the top 10, I can promise you, will be starting the race on medium or hard tyre. So they're going to be basically mobile chicanes. You're going to have to try and get your way around it. And, you know, the AI are not the best at overtaking around these kind of circuits. So we're looking pretty good in that sense. We just got to stay out, hold the lead, and try and go very long. Will benefit massively. Car feels really good. Sectors 2 and 3 were perfect. We've got a 1 second gap to Bottas.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. It's an extra DRS zone this year, of course, on the back straight as well. So 3 zones around here. But for now, we've actually kept Bottas out of DRS range on this first straight, which is really good. I keep saying that, but it is what it is. That's a fact. I just brushed the wall there. Luckily for us, no wing damage. Wow, this is going incredibly well. I'm really impressed. And we are on 110 AI, guys. I can actually confirm it as well. Let me quickly bring out the menu real quick so you can see for yourself. There you go. AI driver level 110. In case that you know, there's any doubts in the comment section. We're even faster this lap. New fastest lap.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Oh yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Gap to Bottas 1.6. I think the AI have turned their engine down. They usually run it maxed out on the first couple of laps. I think they've now kind of stabilised a little bit. Just got to keep this pace up. This is really good pace. Tyres are looking good. I've not really looked at them that much, but they feel fine. And they look fine. Temperatures, tyre wear looking all very balanced. We've got a really good setup on for the race. It's working well. We can definitely go longer than lap 6. That's for certain. We can go quite long in this race, I think, on these tyres. That was a bit of a slower lap. Tyres are starting to fade now. We was 8/10 off our personal best, but we still pulled away from Bottas. So that confirms the tyre wear around here picking up already as Giovinazzi retires in the Alfa Romeo. First retirement already, that's good news for us in the Constructors' Championship. As of course we're in a battle with those guys. But yeah, tyre wear starting to kick in now. The car still feels okay. I can feel the rear end slipping a little bit at times. But we're crucially pulling out a big gap here to the midfield, which is great. Oh, getting some understeer through there now.
We want to pit this lap, so push now.
No, we're going to stay out. I'm going to go for that hard compound tyre as Lewis Hamilton pits for Mercedes. We pulled out almost a second on Bottas in that last lap. But we're going to try and stretch this out to a set of hard tyres. So I want to see if I can make it to lap 10. To be fair, we don't even have to go that far, but I'm going to try and go lap 10 because it'll give me a bit of an idea of where the traffic is. I need everybody behind on soft tyres to pit, so then we know what the gap is and I can judge the pace to the guys on mediums and I can make a decision whether we pit earlier or pit later. There we go, Bottas pits along with Sebastian Vettel, Leclerc staying out for one more. Now we'll get a better indication. Looks like Kimi and Ocon are the first cars on mediums. They're 13 seconds behind, so now is when we start looking at that gap, and if it's still going up, I'll try and go a bit longer and try and stay out to open up a gap. Right, the remaining cars on soft tyres pit. Ocon up to P2 now. We gained a second on that last lap, but Ocon was stuck behind Perez in traffic, so this will give us a better idea.
Mick is in the pits. Mick in the pits.
I am thinking of pitting this lap though, I can't lie. Rear tyres are starting to fade. If we look at the tyre where you can see 58 on the right rear. At max, we've got one more lap left on these. I'll see what the gap is at the end of the lap and I'll make a decision. Right, looking at the pace, Ocon is closing in slightly, so we are going to box, play it safe before there's too much tyre drop off and it undoes all my hard work, undoes all my hard work, whatever the word may be. We're going to play it safe and cover ourselves off. So we've had a good first stint. Well, I say that back, we've had a brilliant first stint. Now we're going to see how much of a cushion we had, and hopefully the hard tyres work well for us. Let's see where we rejoin. That's going to be the key question here.
Go now.
1.8. Oh, yes, that is perfect. Oh, this could be great, guys. Ahead of Latifi, maybe.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Here comes the pack. Here comes the pack. We've got to try and get ahead of this. Yes, Latifi's now on the inside. We'll keep him behind. Woohoo! Yes, we've got the Mercedes cars in there. You've got the Ferraris, the Red Bulls. They're all just behind these two Williams cars. And this is what I meant about going long. We've just got enough of a gap that we were able to clear the two Williams cars. And we're now P5, hopefully going to the end on these tyres. That is perfect. Now we've got to try and open out a gap if we can. This is brilliant. If we get enough of a gap, we could even stop again if we needed to. Wow. This could be our race, guys. It's going perfectly. Absolutely spot on. Qualifying went well. And this is going even better. Look at the gap we've got already to Latifi. We are flying. Absolutely flying.
Some information on Russell. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Okay, that's going to help release the faster cars. At the moment, it's a double Williams roadblock, but Russell's going to become really vulnerable now. So this is when the faster cars will start to creep through. That's why we've got the 5-second gap we've got pretty much to them now, which is really, really good. Closing in on Magnussen here, see if we can maybe get a bit closer and make a move on him soon. Okay, Ocon pits. That's an early stop for him, so I'm guessing he's doing a reverse two-stop. He's the only car to pit that early. We're behind Magnussen now. We're going to try and line him up for a move here, potentially in the back straight. That would be nice. Let's see if we can get nice and close through the section and try and line him up. Here we go. A little bit of overtake mode just to stay close. Russell now getting overtaken by faster cars, it looks like. Ricciardo is up in P6. Not sure what he's doing so high up, but here we go. Let's get past the Ferrari-powered Haas. We'll stick to the outside through here. Struggling to make a difference on straight line speed. But we do get a nice comfortable move down the inside on the brakes, and there we go. Raikkonen leads, Gasly P2. I want to try and close the gap on those guys a little bit. Reason being is because if I have to do another stop, suddenly that means they're both in the net race lead. And I'm not saying I can get these cars to the end. It's not guaranteed yet. So I want to try and close in and be a bit more safe, you know, rather than be sorry. Ooh, okay, Raikkonen and Gasly pit. I was just getting to the back of him. I was 2 seconds behind Gasly. So I would have been right on their gearbox at the end of the next lap. But we do re-inherit P1 in the Singapore Grand Prix. Of course, we're going to the end now. Latifi still hasn't pit, and he's holding up all those cars. So we are now technically about 15 seconds ahead of, you know, the guys who should have been behind us. You know, Bottas, Hamilton, Vettel, Leclerc, all those guys. That's how much of a gap we've pulled out in this time. They just can't seem to get past the Williams, and this is helping us out so much. The gap we've got is just ridiculous. But I feel like any second now, the guys behind are going to start making their way through. I feel like Hamilton's about to make a move on Latifi. I could be wrong. But looking at the Delta, it looks like it. I'm just trying to do my own race here. Hamilton moves up to P2, there you go. I'm just trying to keep his tyres alive and not burn them out too much. The tyre wear is already a little bit higher than I expected, so already I'm a little bit concerned. But again, if we just keep a good pace, I think we could get away with an extra stop. I really do. Obviously, the only people we've got to watch out for is Raikkonen and Gasly, who did pit ahead of us and they had a 2-second gap, but hopefully we'll recover that on raw pace alone. So I think we should be okay to stop again if necessary. All right, Latifi's pitting now, so he's released all the big boys. Let's see what the pace is like. Gap is staying at 15.2 to Lewis. It's not really coming down that much. Again, the AI have pretty much ruined their fresh medium tyres stuck behind the two Williams cars in traffic, so this has helped us out a lot as well. Hamilton pits, there we go. AI going for their second stop now in the race. Bottas should be in next lap. Looks like Ferrari going a little bit longer with their cars, but everyone should eventually do their pit stops. Norris P5 in the McLaren. Not too bad from him. Looking at tyre wear, I think we'll be okay. I don't think there's an issue with us staying out. What I am looking at though is potentially boxing for the fastest lap later on in the race. Maybe going for a used set of softs. That could be an option. So we'll select soft tyres. They are used, but it should still give us enough pace to go for a purple lap. But that's a long way away yet. Let's focus on the task in hand. I'm expecting a few more cars to pit. To be fair, none of them are pitting this lap. Bottas, Vettel, Leclerc and Norris all staying out for at least one more. Okay, Bottas and Vettel finally pit. That means Leclerc should be in this lap as well. Perez pits. And there's Kimi. P3 on the hard tyres, 30 seconds behind. I'm going to monitor the pace, but 30 seconds is just over the gap we need. So that's okay.
Nick is coming in for his stop.
I've guesstimated we need about 25 seconds to make a stop, so 30 should be more than enough for us, especially if Kimi's on the hard tyres. So as long as I keep that gap, I think we've got a free pit stop on our hands. I've just got to try and hold on to that 30 seconds until we pit for softs later on. And there we go, Leclerc pits. We are faster than Kimi. We're pulling away. But he does have Ocon behind him for company, so we'll keep an eye on it now. This is a question of how many laps do we leave it before we pit for the soft tyre. The used soft. I'll say that Ocon pits, so that's even less pressure to worry about. Hamilton now back up to P5. Make that P4. Okay, looking good. Our rival Gasly in third. He's having a great race as well. Luckily for us, we're doing an even better job than him. It's funny how of all the cars that could have been this high up, it had to be an Alfa Romeo and a Haas and an Alfa Tauri, which are the three teams which of course are battling us in the Constructors' Championship. It's so funny how that worked out. It could have been a Renault, could have been a McLaren, could have been a Racing Point, you know, it could have been any of those cars, but no, it had to be the three teams that were battling. Luckily though, the one race they're having that's going really well, we've responded. We're still quicker than Kimi, gap now up to 33 seconds. I'm probably estimating to pit around lap 27, so I've got a couple of laps to do it in case I don't do it first time round. But yeah, we're also saving a bit of fuel as well, gradually, so that we've got fuel to push rich mix for a whole lap. I've got to say, I could have easily gone to the end. The tyres actually held on quite nicely. My driving was very smooth, and we kept them in the groove. But here we go, then we're going to box for a U set. They're not super worn, but I think they're around 6%. Obviously, once you put an out lap on them, it'll be around 10% wear, so they won't be fresh, but still, they are soft tyres, so they should be good enough. So we're going to pit, strap those soft tyres on, and we're going to try and go for a fastest lap attempt and try and score an extra point here today, making full use of the fact we're in this position. So we're going to try and capitalise and hopefully score another point. Here we go, soft tyres selected. We need a good stop once again from the boys. 2.2, beautiful. The pit stops have been absolutely on point today. Right, we'll run the lap in lead mix, stock up on fuel, and then we'll try and go for a personal best / purple lap next time round. Let's see what the tyre is really quickly. Okay, that's not too bad. So 7% except for the front left. Let's see where the guys behind are. Let's see how much they've gained on us. Wow, wasn't even close. They're in turn one. We could have easily given away a couple of seconds, and the grip on this feels insane already. Right, let's get ready. Right, here we go. Let's push. Fastest lap incoming. Let's give it everything we've got. Here we go, then we're going to smash our personal best and fastest lap out of the water here. What a lap this has been through the final bend. Last bit of ERS and fuel across the line, and it's a 36.2, and that is all you need, folks. That is going to be it. Now we just got to bring this one home. 2 laps to go. Here we go then, guys. Hamilton now up to second place. I can't believe this is about to happen. I did not expect this to take place in Season 1, but it's going to happen, baby. I can't lie, a win on a fastest lap is insane. If this doesn't deserve a like rating, guys, I don't know what does. But here we go, through the final few corners. We've not even had a podium yet, and we're going to go straight to the top for the race win. And here we go, the final corner. We're going to win at Singapore. Give me those fireworks, baby. Yes, get in there, come on.
There's a few disappointed faces up and down the pit wall after that one, but not here. They secured a phenomenal victory. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
Oh my goodness me, guys. I'm so happy, like, wow, I'm ecstatic. I can't believe that's happened here today, but that is it. We're done. We've won at Singapore. Our first win of the season, our first win as a team, my first win on this game as a driver in this career mode. A first everything, which is just insane. But we don't just win, we win it in style. We pick up the fastest lap of the race by at least 2 seconds, which is also insane. Hamilton gets second, Raikkonen finishes in third. So a great result for Kimi Raikkonen and Pierre Gasly as well. Also Kevin Magnussen, Ricciardo up in P6 as well. Bottas only P7 ahead of Albon, Vettel and Sainz. As you can see, all the one-stops were the way to go. Even we technically one-stopped as well, and that was why we were so far ahead. But the pace was incredible. We was faster than everybody else. Lando P11 missing out on the points along with Leclerc, Verstappen 13th, Stroll, Perez, Ocon, Grosjean, Mick down in 18th place ahead of Kvyat, Latifi, Russell and then Giovinazzi, the owner of retirement here today. With those 26 points, we jump all the way up into the top 10. We leapfrog at least 5 drivers and we are 8th in the World Drivers' Championship. I mean, what the hell? If that doesn't deserve a like and a subscription, then I don't know what does, guys. That is insane. Constructors wise, we are still P7, but we are now 20 points clear of Alfa Romeo and 22 points clear of Alfa Tauri. So there you go. Really, really good stuff. What a day. What a race. Guys, we're now going to move into the menu, into laptop time, and we're going to see if we can change things heading into the final few races of the season.
You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it really was, and I did not expect that, but it was just amazing. The car was great, the team was great, and it just worked so damn well. I can't complain.
Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they?
Well, yes, but last weekend was still a great result. A top 6 in Monza was fantastic. This was just a really incredible result, but credit to the team, they've been unreal lately.
We all underestimated you, didn't we?
Yep, that's just what happens really, when you least expect it, we get a big result and, that's fair enough.
Was today a good day for you?
Of course it was. I mean, really good day for me.
Great, well that's everything.
Here we go then, looking at the rivalry breakdown. It's a clean sweep. +5 for us, and we take the lead ahead of Pierre Gasly, which is absolutely massive, and we can try and hopefully open up a gap to the Alfa Tauri driver. Also, acclaim wise, we are now level 9 and we are getting an 18% bonus. Mick as well actually levels up quite a bit, and as a team we gain 32% and we are very close now to level 12, so a really good day at the office here today, and we hit all of our bonuses. Therefore we get a nice little injection in terms of cash flow A small bit of damage reduction, of course, due to practice. I had a few crashes, but generally it's been good. I can't complain, and the cash goes up quite a lot. Okay, so here we are then on the laptop once again. We have 2.63 million to spend, and we're going to spend that here today. I feel like it's worth it, and we're going to throw that onto some other parts of the car. So in this case, we are going to throw some onto, I think the aerodynamics is tempting me. Let me quickly look at the R&D, and we'll see where we can upgrade. So looking at this, to be fair, there's a couple of major upgrades here which we can't quite do just yet. Engine wise, how much is that? 1,000 as well. Oof, I can't lie, boys, we might not be able to afford any upgrades in this episode. It looks like all we've got now is all major upgrades, so we can't afford anything. So what we will do is we will push on. So the engine, we're second from bottom, and so we are on the aero as well. But to be fair, we're a lot further away on the aero, so what we'll do is we'll head over to the aero and we'll purchase resource point generation on there. That will arrive very soon, and we'll start throwing on some aerodynamic upgrades. But first of all, let's throw on some activities because we've got a very short turnaround until the next race, only 2 days. And looking at the options, we've got a few of these, to be fair. The podium celebration party is a tempting one, I can't lie, to help all the departments, you know, get more morale and feel quite positive, but that is only 1 day. So I thought I will save the celebrations for the end of the season. I think that's, you know, I think that's the realistic thing to do, and we've got to kind of work on the team. So what we will do is we will do some weight training, and that will improve mixed pace, which I think we could do with heading into the next race. So there we go, activities assigned, and we're all good to go. We'll now skip ahead to the Russian Grand Prix. There we go then, good news, the upgrade has arrived for the race, it didn't fail. So at the minute, we're looking at major upgrades now heading forward. We've got a minor chassis one on the way, you can see here, which should arrive soon. But besides that, all we've got now is major upgrades, engine, chassis, and aerodynamics, and also durability as well. So we've got to now save up a lot of R&D points, hence why buying the R&D points generator on the facilities for the aerodynamics is really, really important. And also, of course, on the driver perks as well. So yeah, really, really happy with it, guys. It's been a great episode here today. Our first ever win in this career mode. If you guys enjoyed it, please drop me a like and also subscribe if you are new, guys, for more F1 content on the channel. Daily content, of course, as always. And also click the bell icon to be notified when new content does go out. And also finally check out this video on screen right now if you have missed them. And of course, the playlist of all the episodes so far in this series. But guys, that is it from me here today. And I'll see you all next time for the Russian Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.